There's an organic market. It's called Mom's Organic Market. And Scott Nash is the CEO of Mom's Organic Market. Now, he did something many are afraid to do. He ate a cup of yogurt months after its expiration date.
Really?
Months. I did this a couple weeks.
That screams hashtag diarrhea.
Yeah. I ate a cup of yogurt the other day, and I didn't think anything of it. I ate it, and then I threw it away, and I didn't even look. Apparently, we had bought some yogurt that had been on the shelf for a while. It was the Oikos variety. And I come home later on that afternoon, because I had it for breakfast. Come home later on that afternoon, the 2 remaining yogurt containers were in the trash. And I look at my wife, what are you doing throwing away the yogurt? She goes, look at it. And it was 2 weeks past its expiration date. And immediately, my gut started going, but it's all psychosomatic. Because this guy ate it months after his expiration date, never got sick. He ate tortillas a year past their expiration date. Now, the tortillas I have in my refrigerator that I made my breakfast burrito with yesterday, the expiration date is May 31st on that. And I feel like I'm playing with fire every time I do it. But then I'm like, it's tortillas. What the hell is it going to do to me, right?
Yeah, I mean, if there's mold on it, you can see it.
Yes.
And even mold's not that bad for you.
And I had cheese with mold on it before its expiration date the other day.
You cut the mold off?
I threw it out.
Oh, cut the mold off.
Yeah, mold inside of a container like cheese, you know. I feel like the spores could get to the other places of cheese. You're just not seeing it. He ate heavy cream. Heavy cream. You know what heavy cream is?
Yes, I buy it. I love heavy cream.
10 weeks past its expiration
What
date.
happens on the heavy cream, and if you don't buy it, you don't know this, but it has a film at the top that it seals. And I think it actually helps keep it preserved, because then you cut through that film and then you pour it out. Yeah, I've done that before.
He said that he would also eat meat sometimes a good month past its expiration date. If it didn't smell bad, I'd rinse it off and it was good to go. He did this to draw attention to the fact that the expiration dates are just a big ruse from the food industry and grocery manufacturers to get you to throw away food that is perfectly good.
I mean, I would eat tortillas that were a year past date. Heavy cream. I ate heavy cream, I think, 10 weeks past date. And then meat. Sometimes I ate meat a good month past date. If it didn't smell bad, I rinse it off. Good to go.
Now, this guy's a CEO of a organic market, right? I mean, he should be all about health. So this means that, you know, we got to be checking our food, right? We got to be checking our expiration dates. Now, Betsy Boren, she's of the Grocery Manufacturers Association. Cha-ching. These are the money people in the grocery business. She says something different about the sell-by date.
In my experience, when these dates are set, there's usually, assuming normal conditions, a little bit of wiggle room. Anytime where you go after that date, this is more of a quality issue. You might see a deterioration of maybe color, other aspects. It doesn't mean it's unsafe. It just means that you're not getting the peak eating experience.
The peak eating experience, the guy ate tortillas a year after they expired. 1 year.
My tortillas are green, but it's just altered color.
1 year.
Well,
that tells me that all these dates are false.
If you keep stuff in a cool, dark space,
like
meaning sunlight can't get to it, or even in your pantry, a lot of times they will last a lot longer. You don't want sunlight bread, and you don't want air.
I'm never buying the expiration date on bread unless it comes from Trader Joe's. For some reason, their bread expires right at the date, like right on the date.
Then you freeze it. If you can't eat the rest of it, this is what I do. I throw it in a Ziploc, throw it in the freezer, and then when I want a piece, I pull it out of the freezer, and I take a slice out, throw it in the toaster. You can make stuff go a long ways by using your appliances. Your freezer is huge. Meat, same thing. You can freeze meat forever.
The dating game is a 2003 report by the Natural Resources Defense Council and Harvard Food Law. And it found that 91% of consumers said they occasionally throw out food past its sell-by date because they think it's unsafe. That's that sell-by date that you were talking about. That sell-by.
But have you ever had food that was questionable?
91%.
Have you ever rolled the dice and then an hour after you ate it, you're in the bathroom and you're in the bathroom for a couple hours afterwards? That's happened to me. Now I second guess myself.
Here's the problem with me is I'm always in the bathroom under those conditions, so I wouldn't know if it's the food's fault. So it's like,
So how are you going to give
it's
this
just
guy
another day at the office.
How are you going to give this guy dumbass of the day?
I'm not
giving
him dumbass of the day.
Okay.
I'm giving us, the American consumers, for not having the wherewithal.
Are you calling your wife dumbass of the day?
91% of us are throwing stuff away because it's unsafe if it's not by the sell-by date.
Can't believe you're calling your wife dumbass of the day.
We are buying line, hook, and sinker the biggest ruse in selling. Like, there should be a law out there protecting us against this.
Didn't we feel like this when we had the born-on dates with beer?
We sniffed that out, no problem.
Like the big ones, the Anheuser-Busch's, the beer, the Budweisers, the Millers, the Coors. This is when it's the freshest. But I know people that will not drink a Bud Light that's been in the refrigerator for more than 6 months. I'm not drinking that. I'm like, why? It tastes terrible either way.
Budweiser was genius for doing that.
There's no flavor in it now.
Budweiser was genius for that because beforehand, we had no idea
how long throwing that up, buy more beer.
How long the beer was in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
They did that. They created a sense of urgency to get people to drink their beer or suffer the consequences of drinking it out of date. Big deal.
So I was packing the coolers for this trip, and so I threw all this Bud Light in there, and then I put a bunch of new Bud Light on top of it, thinking, nope. My buddy Mike picks it up, he looks at the bottom, and he goes, oh, I ain't drinking this.
Kidding me. You're kidding me.
So then, a couple days passed, I tried to bring him a Bud Light in a glass, and he goes, why is that in a glass?
What's the burn-on date on it, bro?
He goes, I ain't drinking that. He goes, I drink out of a can. I don't drink out of a glass. You're no fun.
We're suckers. Yeah. We're suckers for this is the oldest trick in the book. Why don't they just go ahead and make scales beneficial to the people that are doing the weighing and doing the selling? That's like the old market tricks, right? This is an old market trick too. Be fluid when consuming food. Take a look at it. If it doesn't look bad, eat it. Don't pay attention to the dates anymore. This guy was eating year-old food. No big deal. No harm, no foul to him.
Saving money.
We're dumb. Congratulations. Anybody who's ever thrown out something because the sell date had come across. Okay, that's where we'll draw the line. Sell-by date. The sell-by date, and you're throwing it out. You dummy. You're Jeff and Jeremy.
Dumbass of the day.
Full of different things that you buy at the store that have a sell-by date, a born-on date, some sort of date on it that you would think, like Jeff was just saying in Dumbass of the Day, are things you need to watch out and be aware of. Well, I have to actually say thanks to the folks at Fox News who put this together. And these are foods that are apparently expired on the date, but they're still fine to eat.
The beacons of truth at Fox News.
Canned food is the big one. They'll usually put a date on it, an expiration date from 1 to 4 years. But as long as you keep it in a dark, cool place,
as long
like
as
a pantry,
not sitting out in the Mojave Desert,
it can go 3 to 6 years. Any canned food, canned vegetables, soups, whatever it is.
Beans.
Yeah.
How many times I've thrown out beans?
Oh, why would you throw beans out?
Because of the date.
You keep them in a dark, cool place?
Yeah. The date.
They also say make sure the cans are damaged. If they have a bunch of dents in them, there's a chance that maybe
Holes.
Air got into them a little bit. You got to be careful. Yeah. Frozen food. Pretty much expiration proof. As long as it's frozen, you're good to go.
You're kidding me.
Now, there is freezer burn, right? You just wash that off.
Yeah. Right.
All that is frost. You just
this is going to make it taste a little less.
If my wife goes into the freezer and she sees a bunch of frost on top of something, she's like, oh, that's going to be thrown away. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Put it in the fridge. Let it
steam it.
And it'll be fine, I promise. Eggs, do you know how to tell a good egg and a bad egg?
I do not.
I learned from a chicken farmer. A local chicken farmer we have here that'll bring us eggs. So you take the eggs. Now, if you get them from a hen house and they haven't been washed, they'll last a long time. You just keep them in a dark, cool place again.
Like a refrigerator?
Or just like your pantry. Doesn't have to be real
pantry?
Cool.
You keep your eggs in the pantry?
If they haven't been washed, then they don't need to be refrigerated.
What?
And they will last for 6 to 10 weeks.
No.
Yes, very true story.
If you're just hanging out with eggs in your pantry,
Any
that's kind of
egg,
gross.
if you're not sure if it's good or not, fill up a bowl with lukewarm water and set your egg in it. If it sinks, it's a good egg. If it floats, throw it away. What happens is, I guess, the bacteria, according to this story, builds up gases inside the eggs, and that's what causes them to float. So if you ever see a floating egg, do not eat that. That will send you right to the bathroom.
So why not just keep your eggs in water?
All the time?
As a storage. You have a big bin of eggs, and then you only go to the bottom of the bin, and the ones that float up to the top,
you get a glass.
You throw them out.
You can just get a glass and fill it full of water and drop an egg in there as you're going to use them.
Dark bowl of water in a garage. I got to get some eggs.
Pasta doesn't spoil, so when you see you buy the boxes and it says it spoils, it doesn't spoil. It's dehydrated. There's no way it can spoil. Bread, obviously, look for mold. And fruits and vegetables, you can usually will last a lot longer. But most of the fruits and vegetables that I get that have a date on it is usually the packing date. You just have to be careful, like mushrooms, because like sometimes I've gotten into there and there's moisture in mushrooms, and so they'll cause mold. But those are a few items that will last beyond the born on or expiration dates.
You know the reason why this guy did this experiment to see if he could eat the food that was well past its expiration date?
Because he thinks that America throws away a lot of food.
For an entire food. Yeah, but it's more than just a waste issue. It's also a greenhouse gas issue. Apparently, food waste in landfills generates carbon dioxide and methane 28 to 36 times more than carbon dioxide that's out in the atmosphere. That's like from our like cars and things like that. The carbon dioxide is it traps the heat. So all the resources that went into growing, packaging, and transporting food, it's all wasted by you just throwing out the food. You're wasting the calories, you're wasting the money, and you're wasting all that stuff that went into the process of. And this is why I preach this, okay? Because I'm a dad that doesn't like to throw away food, okay? You're
a coupon shopper.
You're also killing the environment because that waste that went to produce your food, all the resources that went to produce your food is going up in the air. And it's bad for the landfills because it generates carbon dioxide and methane.
Well, that's why you should have a compost pile. But it's kind of doing the same thing. It's just doing it in your backyard.
I'm not doing a compost pile.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.